Urgent, Commanders fan, look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest Commanders news, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. ESPN former Commanders 5th round pick on trade block 5, possible next teams. The rebuilding Seattle Seahawks are putting former 5th rounder on the trade block during the NFL draft, and 5 teams may be calling. The Seattle Seahawks are officially putting quarterback Sam Howell on the trade block this offseason. According to a report, the Seahawks are open to trading Howell, and there have been multiple teams calling about his availability. Originally selected in the 2022 NFL Draft, the former North Carolina product began his tenure with the Washington Commanders, making his first career start with them at the end of his rookie campaign, but he was already out of postseason contention and made promising strides in that matchup. Howell couldn't maintain his consistency after throwing 4 interceptions in Week 3 of the 2023 campaign, but he led the league in passing yards while tallying a single-season sack record by a quarterback. It's obvious that Howell has a strong but the Commanders got 2024 draft pick Jayden Daniels as the future of their franchise. The Commanders traded Howell before the team selected Daniels with the first-round selection, and he was serving as a backup for former quarterback Geno Smith. It's easy to see why the Seahawks are receiving interest, being that they signed Drew Lock last week to fill in the shoes and back up new starter Sam Darnold. Even though Howell has been remarkable in his first impression, it was a lackluster year for him last season. ESPN former Commanders 5th round pick Sam Howell. On trade, block 5, possible next teams, potential destinations. Washington Commanders, even. Though veteran Marcus Mariota will be backing up Jayden Daniels and the Commanders again this season, the team might not have him for the future. Perhaps the Commanders could trade back for Howell to remain their long-term backup. This might be the perfect opportunity for Howell to learn from Daniels and Mariota, while they could lose Mariota, as he will likely want a starting role elsewhere. New Orleans Saints. It's been a chaotic offseason for the New Orleans Saints. The team will be without Derek Carr for the entire 2025 campaign, so new head coach Kellen Moore is left without an adequate quarterback. Spencer Rattler got a few chances last year, but the Saints should start taking chances on some quarterbacks to boost the competition. Howell and Rattler could battle it out at practice for the starting role. Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys did well trading for Joe Milton this offseason. This means Dak Prescott could be on the hot seat if he can't produce the results. The organization wants, despite his contract extension, Howell might not start, but after losing Cooper Rush and Trey Lance, it's never a bad idea to have more than 2 quarterbacks. Los Angeles Chargers. For the Chargers, they're bringing in Trey Lance to help back up Taylor Heinicke and Justin Herbert. They also need more competition in that room in case Herbert goes down. Howell won't win the job, but he's more of a dependable backup on what head coach Jim Harbaugh should look for. Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers offense seems to be in a good place as the team is finally getting the best out of quarterback Bryce Young. Despite that, the team is signing Andy Dalton to serve as their bridge starter again. He won't last more than 5 more years, so it's time for them to get a capable backup who's younger, like Howell. Pausing this news just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest Commanders news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks! Now let's get back to the news. Commanders predicted to make blockbuster trade during NFL Draft for 5-time first-team All-Pro WRT. The Washington Commanders were the biggest surprise of the 2024 season, but now that the rest of the league realizes they have one of the top young quarterbacks in the NFL, they will have a target on their backs during the 2025 campaign. Seemingly overnight, the Commanders transformed from one of the worst franchises in the NFL that only made the playoffs 3 times during Dan Snyder's ownership from 1999 to 2023 to a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Last year's 125 finish too. The regular season was surprising enough, but for Washington to reach the first NFC Championship game since 1991 is a testament to the massive organizational overhaul that starts with the new ownership group. Now, as the NFL Draft inches closer, the Commanders are viewed as a lock to make the playoffs in 2025, and based on the moves they have already made in free agency, it's obvious GM. Adam Peters believes if he can put the right pieces around Jayden Daniels, Washington has a legitimate shot of making a Super Bowl in the next 3 seasons while they still have the young superstar QB on his rookie contract. The first order of business was to decide which players from last year's squad would get resigned and who the Commanders would let walk and sign with other teams. The bulk of the 2024 squad was made up of high-upside veterans who fit the culture. The new regime is attempting to implement, and Peters made a clear effort to bring back the most important pieces from a year ago. Bobby Wagner was the leader of the defense, and Washington inked him for another season. On offense, veteran tight end Zach Ertz became one of Daniels' favorite targets, and he will be back in 2025. And then key role players like punter Tress Way, tight end John Bates, and defensive end Clelin Ferrell all got new deals to stay in D.C. for at least 2025. Similar to last offseason, Peters didn't target a bunch of splashy names in free agency. Instead, he went after proven veterans with high character and signed players like veteran CB Jonathan Jones and run-stuffing DT Eddie Goldman. The Commanders did drop significant cash on former first-round DL Javon Kinlaw, who hasn't lived up to expectations since coming out of college but has flashed production. Kinlaw is coming off his best NFL season with the New York Jets, where he finished the year with 40 tackles and 5 sacks. He has all of the athletic traits to be a game wrecker, and there are rumblings that Peters' familiarity with him from their time in San Francisco, paired with Dan Quinn's vision on using him creatively in the scheme, led to a decision the Washington brass believes will pay off. There were two notable moves that stood out among the others when free agency began. First, the Commanders landed jack-of-all-trades W.R. Deebo Samuel in a trade with the 49ers, where they only gave up a 5th-round pick. Samuel didn't put up numbers in 2024 like he did during his 2023 All-Pro season, but he's a unique weapon OC Cliff Kingsbury will be able to utilize in multiple ways and gives the Commanders a much-needed new weapon on offense. The most surprising and likely impactful move came when the Washington Commanders shocked the entire NFL and traded for 5-time Pro Bowl left tackle Laramie Tunsil. That was a move nobody saw coming and a clear indication they want to ensure Daniels is protected by one of the top left tackles in the league for at least the next 2 seasons. While there are still holes to fill on the roster, most notably at pass rusher, it's been a consensus from almost every media outlet that Washington has already gotten significantly better. They still have a handful of premium draft picks and will likely target a pass rusher who can start immediately, a dynamic running back, and potentially a cornerback. At this point, beyond finding a player that can disrupt consistently and get to the opposing quarterback, there isn't a glaring need. Heading into the draft, but even with the draft capital they have already given up via the trades for Samuel, Tunsil, and CB Marshawn Lattimore during last season, Bleacher Report predicts the Commanders aren't done and will make a blockbuster trade on draft day. They predict Washington will give up their 2025 second-round pick and a 2025 sixth-round pick for Miami Dolphins, All-Pro WR Tyreek Hill, and a 2025 seventh-round pick. Here's what BR said about the Commanders potentially trading for Hill as quarterback Jaden Daniels enters the second year of his rookie deal. The Washington Commanders can load up on his supporting cast. They acquired wideout Deebo Samuel from the San Francisco 49ers, and they have enough cap space, $3 million to make another move at the position. Remember that Samuel saw a significant drop-off in his receiving numbers after his 2021 Pro Bowl campaign, though he offers versatility. Out of the backfield, he's been a number 2 or 3 option in the 49ers passing offense. Terry McLaurin and Hill can be a nightmare tandem for opposing defenders. Both can attack all 3 levels of the field, though the latter provides unmatched speed on the perimeter. With Hill in the fold, Daniels could let it rip a lot more downfield. For backbreaking plays that put opponents away in close matchups, Adam Peters throws massive Commanders curveball in recent NFL draft. Pitch Adam Peters could do anything early in the draft. The Washington Commanders are keeping all options open entering the 2025 NFL Draft. Adam Peters isn't known for tipping his hand, with the football operation being run in almost complete secrecy, with few leaks emanating from the franchise. That hasn't stopped analysts and fans from speculating which direction the Commanders could go. And one recent prediction thought Peters might have the luxury of a curveball at number 29 overall. Peters made a concerted effort to surround quarterback Jaden Daniels with everything needed to thrive further this offseason. The Commanders are pushing their chips into the middle to maximize the window of his rookie contract. Some notable acquisitions should ensure the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year continues his rapid ascent to legitimate superstardom. The Commanders could continue this trend during the draft, adding to the offensive line is plausible. The running back spot remains an overlooked yet critical need. There's also the possibility of Washington adding another wide receiver with the physical attributes others don't have on the depth chart. Commanders projected to take Jaden Higgins in major NFL draft surprise. This was a topic discussed by Dalton Wasserman from Pro Football Focus. The analyst pitched a massive draft curveball for the Commanders, with Jaden Higgins touted as someone who could round off the receiver room nicely, adding another weapon like Jaden Higgins, who earned a perfect 99. 9 intermediate receiving grade last season would give Jaden Daniels the ability to consistently attack all 3 levels of the defense. Terry McLaurin could continue stretching the field as a deep threat, while Deebo Samuel thrives underneath with yards after the catch. Higgins' ability to win in isolation would bring yet another dynamic element to an already dangerous offense. Dalton Wasserman Higgins is projected to be a day 2 selection by most analysts. But with the Commanders picking at number 61 overall, taking him at number 29 might not be so far-fetched if they believe he won't last that long. The wideout has a lot of physical traits that should intrigue the Commanders. Higgins boasts a unique blend of size, strength, and explosiveness. At 6'4" and 214 pounds, the Iowa State prospect represents a matchup nightmare when everything clicks. More importantly, he backs this up with outstanding production and a 47-second speed in the 40-yard dash. There's a lot to like about Higgins' route development. His tree is expanding, and he knows how to get open at all 3 levels. The prospect can stretch the field, can get off press coverage situations easily, and has a good sense of the soft spots in zone schemes for good measure. His wide wingspan makes him a supreme red zone threat. When Higgins improves his release package and blocking, someone is going to have a tremendous player on their hands. The Commanders might think they have enough. Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel Sr., Luke McCaffrey, Noah Brown, Michael Gallup, and KJ Osborne are the options right now. Higgins wouldn't be a bad option to place alongside this fivesome, but Peters could have other needs to address with his first-round pick. It's a fascinating decision for Peters, and Commanders fans will be waiting with bated breath to see what conclusions are made. And now, Commanders fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Commanders. I'll be back any moment with more Commanders news. We want Dallas.